Okay.
The final Mishnah in the Sotah talks about things that happened around the time of the Churban Beis HaMikdash.
When the things stopped happening, yeah.
And it says over there in the Mishnah, there's a question where the Mishnah ends actually, because you'll notice on the bottom of the page over here it says Gemara, 2 lines, and over here again it says Gemara. We're not going to go into that right now, but before the piece that says Gemara, it says over there, Vishemesh Rebbe Botel Anova V'Yiras Chet. Okay. So it seems like that's the end of the Mishnah. Comes along the Gemara over here, and the Gemara says, on these words, Vishemesh Rebbe Botel Anova V'Yiras Chet. So it says over here, Omrei Rabbi Yosef Tana. Rabbi Yosef said to Tana. What does that mean, Rabbi Yosef said to Tana? Let me explain something. In the Gemara, we have Mishnah and we have Gemara. The one who put together the Mishnah was Rabbi, who was known as Rabbi Yehuda Hanossi. Rabbi happened to be an extremely rich person, and he saw that there's becoming in a forgetfulness among the Talmidei Chachamim. So he gathered many Talmidei Chachamim, and he supported them, and each one put together what he remembered, and then later, based on that, Rebbe compiled the Mishnah. But Rebbe didn't actually do the actual compilation of the Mishnah. Rebbe decided what should come into the Mishnah. But there was editors. The editors were also Tanoim, who were students of Rebbe, and they added, Rebbe's not going to write Mishemesh Rebbe.
How can you write?
How can Rebbe write Mishemesh Rebbe? So the Teretz is that there was a Tana, a student of Rebbe, who was the editor, and Rabbi Yosef said that Rabbi Yosef was a later generation. Rabbi Yosef said to the Tana, Leitisni Anova. Don't mention Anova in the Mishnah. Number one, because it doesn't make sense that the Rebbe should say that Mishemesh Rebbe bought Anova. Doesn't make sense. Number two, there's another reason. The other reason is Dikano, because I am still around. And Rashi says, and I'm an Anov. So with this, and then later Reb Nachman says to the Tana, Letisna Yiras Chet. Why? Because Dikano. So they're not disputing if it is or not an issue, but it doesn't belong in the Mishnah. When we look in the Gemara, this is we say, we finished Masech Sotah. So yesterday we finished Masech Sotah, and we made a siyum, and I said a drasha about it, and I'll even repeat some of the drasha, but it so happens, got the right page here, good. Okay. It so happens that Shavuos, if you said the Tikkun Leil Shavuos on Shavuos, so the Tikkun Leil Shavuos was made by the Shulah, and they took the beginning and end of a parsha and a Masechta. In the Tikkun Leil Shavuos, it doesn't end this way.
Even though it's the end of the Masechta.
Huh?
Even though it's the end of the Masechta.
It says over here, the reason the Kiyas Mavir Tara Mavir with a Prisha, I'm sorry. It says about the things that will be, that there will know Pnei Ador Pnei Akelev, and then later it says and then it starts Rabbi Pinchas ben Yor Omer Zrizas Mevir Lidei Nekiyas, and Nekiyas Mevir Lidei Tahara, or Tahara Mevir Lidei Prisha, so Prisha Mevir Lidei Kedur. Where did all this come in suddenly? So the Torah says, if you look in our Gemara on the bottom of the page, it says over there that yeshnu schois kosov b'mishnah my mazeh. However, he says, the Tosfos Yontif doesn't agree with that. The Tosfos doesn't say that it belongs over here. He says it belongs in a different place in Gemara. But you see from the Tikkun El Shvuos, you see it doesn't even mention this thing about does it mention it before? No, it does bring over here. Botla Anova Yereschait, it brings it, but it brings it in the Mishnah. Yeah. But he doesn't bring it in the end. Like Tisney, he doesn't bring it. Okay. So the question is, what's going on over here? In order to make a proper siyum,
he doesn't bring it because this is only the Mishnah. It doesn't bring the Gemara.
Okay, that's true.
Yeah,
but let's read over here. What does he want over here? This the Pinchas ben Yoya, Oima says, skip the parentheses. Zrizis mevila de nikias. That zrizis means alacrity, doing things quickly, brings to nikias. When nikias mevila de tara, the tara mevila de precious. Precious mevila de kedusha. Kedusha mevila de anova. Vanova mevila de yireschait. Yireschait mevila de chasidus. Chasidus mevila de ruach hakodesh. Ruach hakodesh mevila de tchias hamesim. Tchias hamesim bo ayidei el yo anovi zal. B'mheire b'yameinu yova v'yigalenu ken yiratzein amen. Okay. What's it got to do with over here? Ted, it's very simple. We learned that things that were taken away, that were bottled, we said about Kedusha, we said about Perishus, and we said about Tara. So now he's telling you over here, and they don't think that there's no future. But even though these things were taken away, but you should know that they will come back to Eliyahu Hanavi. So that's the connection of this to Masechta Sotah. And what he mentions the Tara, he mentions Precious. And if you look in the two Mishnahs, in this Mishnah over here, and in the Mishnah before, it mentions Precious, it says, Mesa, Rabbi Gamliel, Mishamesa covered the title, Umesa Tara, Precious. So there's things that he's telling you how these things will come back. Now, one of the things that I want to talk about is that we spoke about the Tara, that because of the lack of Tara, the fruit is no longer the way it was before. And the chitim is no longer the way it was before. And we even learned the story in the Gemara about, who was it?
The son of
Rav Huna found a chumrah the chininusa. He found this date, and he wrapped it, and he gave it to his son. And his son said, "I smell you have this date." So the father says to him, "Oh, I see you have Tara." So it seems like Tara goes together with him. So now, let me take a few minutes. We know that when we eat bread, we bench. It's called birchas hamazon. And if we eat cake, or if we eat fruit, or we drink wine, then there's a bracha me'ein sholish. What's the bracha me'ein sholish? That it has in it a remembrance of the birchas hamazon. Birchas hamazon has really 4 brachas, but only 3 of the brachas are midaraisa. The 4th bracha, hatayva meitev, is midrabanan. So if you go over here, Baruch atah Hashem keinu malachayim, alam bichtiv hakol v'gaf b'yagav, this is b'mkaim the bracha of Hazon Hashem Kula B'Tuv B'Cheinu Chesed. Then you go on, you say, Then it's you gave us Eretz Chem L'Tay B'Rechava. That's over here, Neidel L'Cha, Eretz Chem L'Tay B'Rechava. Then we go on to say, Rachim, No Hashem Elokeinu Yisrael Mecho. That is over here. Then we say, V'nei Yisrael Me'er Kodesh. That is over here. And then we also say, Ki Ato Hashem Toiv U'Meita V'Kol. That's Keneged HaToiv U'Meita. No. All of the brachas that we have over here in Birchas HaMazon, so we made them, we shortened it, so to say. But there's one thing that's very strange over here. In Al-Amichu we say, Uvenei Yisrael Me'er Kodesh. No, I'm sorry, before that. It says, Rachem No Hashem Elokeinu. I saw a Mecho Yisrael Me'er Kodesh Mishkan Kodecho. Al Mizbechecha Becholecho. Uvenei Yisrael Me'er Kodesh. Meiri Yemenu. V'aleinu L'Secha. Zemchenu U'Nebracha B'Kedusha V'Torah. We're in Rachem, does it say Kedusha and Torah? It says, by Sagadu HaKadosh, but there's no mention of Kedusha and Torah. It says you should bench us, Yodcha Amreya Psucha Kedosha, but there's no mention, over here it says, we will make a bracha Kedusha Torah. What is the meaning of Kedusha Torah? That means what we learned in Masechta Sotah. In Masechta Sotah we learned that because there's no Torah, therefore the fruit is different. So therefore the wheat is different. So now we're saying over here we don't talk about the fruit, because we're not talking. It's not talking about fruit, but over here we're talking about the Shiva Aminim, and the Geffen and wine, and B'meila when there'll be Tara, there'll be a Tam in the Peitas. So therefore we say in the V'recha B'Kedusha V'Tahara that we will we'll be holy and we'll be pure, and B'meila will have the best taste, the best fruit that is available to bring. And the reason we mention over here Al Mizbechecha V'Lechem, over here we don't mention Al Mizbechecha because we're talking about the Bikurim. From the bikurim you bring fruit. You bring bikurim from the fruit, and where do you put the fruit? When you and where should you put it? In front of the mizbeach. So therefore, being that we're talking about what will be in the future if B'nai build, so we'll have mizbeach for bikurim, and over there we will bring fruit that is in the quality of a kedusha v'torah. Okay, that takes care of this here.
And the chitim that mentions in the Gemara,
what?
Taste in the chitim.
Are we in the same halacha? Shuman.
In our mikra, go.
The shuman of the dog.
Now, over here it says, Rabbi Yosef says, "Letisnei anova dik ano." Now the question is, maybe why don't we say to Rabbi Yosef, who says you are an onov? You're saying Letisnei dik ano.
And the Rashi says.
Rashi says he says I am an onov.
Right.
Prove it.
Could you answer maybe in a way? It says that Moshe Rabbeinu got the Torah only because he has a nova. So could be he learned Torah in a way.
Who state this? The teretz is it's of a Pharisee Gemara, based on the Gemara that we went before in Masechta Sotah. In Masechta Sotah, we went over here a Gemara, where the Gemara tells a story. Where is it? I had the page before. Here.
He seems to be doing some kind of a...
Okay. In Masechta Daf Mem, we're going to Gemara about Ambesenuso de Rabavua. Okay, take a look on Daf Mem, Ambesenuso de Rabavua. What was the anivus of Rabavua? So he tells the story of Meiser that one of the wives from the Meiser, that the women, that one woman said to the other, to his wife, my husband is really greater than your husband. But that's not the. There's a story that tells over there what his anivus was. Look, find what his anivus was.
Chalash daite.
Visu, you see Visu? What's it say there? Visu, Rabavua, Imni Rabbanan Alei, Lemamne Bereisha. What does that mean? That there was a discussion amongst the Amida Chachamim that they should make Rabavua the Rosh Hashiva, because he was a tremendous Talmud Chacham, right? What happened? Kivan the Chaza L'Rab Abba de Menako, the Nefishulei Bala Chayvis. He saw that the Abba owes a lot of money,
Right.
and B'meila, so he needs a source of income to free himself of his debts. He said, Ikar Abba,
Use him.
don't give him the job, give him the job. So what is anivus? Anivus means when you're giving up something that you're entitled to and everything in order to help someone else.
Where does it say that? Where does it say?
Over here, man.
Right across where it says
Like
Shema in the
the
Gemara.
taste says Shema on the left, 2 lines about it.
Yeah, go into the Gemara and then turn.
Okay?
We learned the Gemara, yeah.
Okay, so let's take now a Gemara called Hodius. And in the end of Masechta Hodius, there's a question over there about what is greater, Sinai or Oikaharim? What's the question, Sinai or Oikaharim? Sinai means someone that knows everything. Like everything was given us Sinai. Oikaharim means someone that he's a tremendous, he uproots the mountains, right? What's greater? So the Gemara came to the conclusion, Sharuhu, they asked the question, and Sharuhu, Sinai Odef. Sinai's Odef. Who was Sinai? Rabbi Yosef. Who was Oikaharim? Rabbah. So what does the Gemara tell you about this? So what the Gemara tell you in addition to this question, who is greater? The Gemara calls it the following story, that even though Rabbi Yosef was greater than Rabbah, because Sinai was greater, but Philahachi, even though Lakibo Rabbi Yosef Alei Melech Rabbah Esem V'Tate Shnin, and V'Hoda Molech, he didn't take away the job from Rabbah to be the Rosh Hashiva, even though he was greater. But for 22 years, he let him hold the job, and even though he was greater. And what? Not only did he hold the job, but listen to this then. And V'Chol Shni, the Molech Rabbah, all the years that Rabbah was the Rosh Hashiva, Rabbi Yosef afilu umnu lebeisei loicholov. There's different pshat in what that means, but one pshat is that he didn't call someone that leached his blood, he didn't call him to come to his house. So it's different pshat, but some pshat is that a choshev person doesn't go to the doctor. A very choshev person, the doctor comes to him. Mm-hmm. But in order that they shouldn't think that he's considered himself a very choshev person, so he went to the instead of calling him. So all the years to show that his anivus, he went to the doctor. Kumtai Sufizeh, that the whole simon that we have, or the way that we measure in Masechta Sotah, the way we measure an honor, is if he gives up a position of honor in order to help someone else or respect to someone else. So therefore, Rabbi Yosef had the right to say like this now Nova, Dikano, because I gave up my position of
22 years.
Rosh Yeshiva
To
to
someone else.
Rabba
When it cost me.
when I could have had it. Okay.
You were both in the same yeshiva, or one was in Pumbedisa and one how they?
I don't know. It seems that they were together over here.
Yeah. If they were going to buy it.
Then I said, this is a vote I said about Shabbos. I'll repeat this vote because I think it's a very good vote. I also said Shabbos that l'chayra, what does the basic care if Batal Love a big deal? I mean, there's so many things will change.
Yeah, right.
So it's Batal Love. So what does he care about it? So I said, the teretz is that Rabbi Yosef was concerned if we say Marshal, all the things that we say Batal, so no one will strive to do it anymore.
It's over, finished.
So if you say Batal Anova, so no one will strive to be an Anov. But the Yosef said, no, we can't allow that. We must keep Anivas intact. And people should strive to be Anov. Why? Because the whole Masechta Sotah is based on that. What Pshat is based on that? So I said, I'll explain it again what I said yesterday. Shel Tzafar, Marshal, usually when a rabbi is Masata Kedushin, so before he does that, he meets the couple. And he interviews them and talks to them. Could you imagine a rabbi asking a lady, tell me, Mrs. or whatever, tell me, would you be a Saita? She'll spit the rabbi in the face. What kind of question is that? And even though she would have said it so positively that, and she'd be insulted even for the question, and still you find that after they got married, she went and she became a Saita. The question is, what happened? What happened? So I said, the Torah tells you in the parsha that we read Shabbos what causes Saita and how you could avoid that it shouldn't be a Saita. I say, most dinim in the Torah state ish that'll do this, ish that'll do this, ish that'll do this. And if here state ish ki sister ish. Why say 2 times? So Rashi is bothered by that question. And Rashi says, ish ki sister, you know what it says 2 times? Because one goes on the husband, one goes on the Eibishter. That when she does such a thing, she's going against her husband, she's going against the Eibishter. So I said, not Chas v'Shalom against Rashi, but in addition to Rashi. The Torah is telling you when you read the next work, you sister Ishtay, you could say to yourself, how did it happen? They were so happily under the chuppah. How did it happen? The Torah says that Ish, the man, Ish only knew of himself. Only thought of himself. He only thought of his masculinity, but didn't think of his wife also. So the whole time, Ani Agever, I'm the man, and everyone has to respect me, and I'm important, and the wife is nothing. You know what happens? Sister Ishtai, the wife gets disgusted and goes for different outlets. And that also states in Masechta Sotah. The Gemara in Masechta Sotah we learned 2 days ago. We learned over here in the Gemara. The Gemara says over here, look on Daf Mem Zayin, look on Daf Mem Zayin on the base.
Yeah.
It says, Misha Rabu HaYehudim. What does that mean? When the Balgaivaniks, is a Schilu B'nais Yisrael V'Inosei V'Yehudim. So they became very popular. Everyone wanted to marry them. right?
The men.
Why? She'ein doireinu roya elu lefonim. We're not profound. We only think on the surface. We don't go into deeper. In fact, the Gemara, Eini, v'omama, we learn, Haiman de Mahar, afila insha beisay le mekabel. The family does not accept him. They're angry at him. Shenema gever yohir lo yanaver. Afila benover shalai, even in his apartment. And for the Gemara, Mei Kara Kafza Alei. In the beginning, when they're dating, so they're very impressed with him. Abu Saif, Mitzal Alei becomes cheap. They lose their respect for him. So those like the Torah, Ish, that if the man
Only thinks about himself.
only thinks about himself and doesn't recognize that his wife is a partner, as I said yesterday, that marriage is called wedding. And wedding begins with the word we, W-E, not I. Demos was vet, demos vet, amakana le'ishtoi. So therefore, if Yosef was concerned that there shouldn't be chas v'sholom big problems, said, no, don't say that there's no another. Another is very important, and you have to strive to do it, because if you're not going to do it, you know what you end up with it? You can end up with amakana le'ishtoi. Okay. Now, you heard more of my...
Thank you very much.
Now you can
He
enjoy...
said now you could add the Yiddishkeit to that also.
So you should say Kaddish again now?
No. Okay.
Thank you.